Hello everybody, welcome back to round number 11 of TTL, which takes us to the Hungaroring in Budapest. My name is Kieran McGinley and I'll be taking you through this round of the championship. Without further ado then, let's go straight into the driver standings. So at the top of the table is Blizzard on 140, Spikes in second on 135, Darren Sinclair in third on 126, Chor is in fourth on 98, Siege in fifth on 65, with Lambo in sixth on 63. Light E is 7th on 60 points, Mays is in 8th on 49, only a point behind is his teammate, the Gort, in 9th, and Raikkonen in 10th on 43. Joint with him on 10th on 43 is Poe, 12th place is Humbug with 34, Sao Paulo with 25 points puts him 13th, Useless in 14th on 22 points, Crazy in 15th on 15 points, Z3 in 16th place with 11 points, Steph in 17th with 10 points, Shunts is in 18th with 8 points, then it's Pazels in 19th with 5 points, Weed Nation in 20th on 3 points. Joint with him is Alan Kay, also on 3 points. Plaster in 22nd on 2 points and Geordie 23rd on 1 point. Moving on now to the constructors standings, we've got Williams at the top on 155, Renault in second on 145 with Toro Rosso in third on 129, Force India are fourth on 116, Mercedes fifth on 108, only a point behind a Sauber on 107 puts them sixth place. In seventh it's McLaren on 83 points, Ferrari are in eighth with 61, Red Bull in ninth on 55 and Haas in 10th at the bottom there on 47 points. So, without further ado then, let's go into the hot lap. Here we are then for Hungary, this circuit, Monaco Without the Barriers, coming round this long turn 14 here, now coming down the start straight with Blizzard, the championship leader, on board now as we head down towards turn 1, braking point just after the 100-metre board as you turn in here, as you drop down to second or third gear, whichever gets you more traction, careful of the oversteer on the exit. As you now head towards turn 2 here, the braking zone goes away from you and to the left, so make sure you do all your braking there, easy to lock up here. As you head towards turn 3 now, keep it as tight as possible through here, avoid the curbs on the left hand side of turn 3. Coming up to turn 4 now, use the curb on the right hand side there, it helps with your braking point and your turn in as you head now into turn 5, and careful of the exit here, watch the curb on the exit. Heading into the chicane of turn 6 and 7, the sleeping policeman on the inside will disrupt your lap time, so careful of those as you head now into the slightly more difficult circuit, turns 8 and 9 here, high downforce needed, and if you're running low drag you could struggle in this section. Heading through turn 10, now through turn 11, again use the curb on the left hand side, gets you that turn in that you need as you head now down towards turn 12, 90-degree right hander, can make a move here but it's very difficult to do so. Heading now up into turn 13, again it's an on-braking zone, it cambers away from you as you try to turn in. As now you head towards turn 14, easy on the throttle here, you can get on it about halfway around the corner, watch the traction on the exit as you head towards the start finish line. That's a lap of Hungary. Now it's on to qualifying. Well, here we are at the halfway mark, and here we are at the Hungaroring for round 11 of TTL. Now, obviously, as we said in the last episode, you still have a chance to vote for your tracks you want to see in the Challenge Cup coming up at the end of the season. Of course, you still have a chance to go on Twitter to vote for your tracks for the Asia Pacific Tour Challenge Cup. There is still time to do it. Hopefully after this race the Twitter poll will be up so that you can vote. Just to remind you, 3 25% races with random grids all in one night, all in one video. So the poll will be spread across 2 tweets, with 4 Asian circuits on 1 tweet, 3 Pacific circuits on the second tweet. First tweet will be China, Singapore, Malaysia, Japan, and on poll 2 will be Australia, Bahrain and Abu Dhabi. The tracks there across the 2 that have the highest 3 votes will go on to be part of that tour. So meanwhile then, as the cars head out onto the track, we're going to join for qualifying now. And well, interesting circuit, Hungary. It's been known as Monaco Without the Barriers. Famed for not very many places to actually overtake. Your best places are down into turn 1, and if you're feeling brave, into turn 12, as we saw Kimi Raikkonen go full opposite lock as he went to overtake going into turn 12. It can be done, but it's very tough to do it. So we're riding on board with Baumgartner here as we pop on all of the data and everything we need, as we see a Red Bull out in front. One thing to mention is that Baumgartner, no, sorry, my mistake. So who have we got out on track first? I believe it is Plaster. Who else would be out there first? Well, there's actually someone ahead of him. And Darren Sinclair has gone through Sector 3. It's Blizzard who's going to set the first lap of qualifying. The championship leader heading out there, looking to try and grab pole position. It's going to be tough though. His teammate Weed Nation heading through turn 13 there, through 14. Difficult track to get right, Hungary. You need that mix of downforce to get you through the high-speed sections, but you've also got the long straights for between turn 3 and 4, turn 11 and 12, and of course the very long start-finish straight. So you need a balanced car here, and sometimes that's not always easy to do. As Blizzard runs wide there, he won't be happy with that. As we head on board with Blizzard now, and yeah, always tiptoeing around here because some drivers do try and run bit lower drag to try and get the speed on the straight. That compromises then through 8 and 9, which is especially asking for the downforce. But you do sacrifice that to get yourself a faster lap. So here comes Blizzard then. As he rounds his way through, he's decided not to carry on with the lap, and keep it out of the wall there. We don't want a Damon Hill going through into pit lane, as we'll see Plaster come across the line. 120.4, Baumgartner 119.5, so he goes fastest in the session. Geordie sets a 119.6 as we see a Toro Rosso in the background. That's Darren Sinclair. He did set a 119.7, but for whatever reason the lap got invalidated. Light E then 118.4 goes fastest there, as we see Z3 there as well. Poe coming around the final few corners, he'll set his time, and it was a 118.9, but it had been invalidated. Lambo there 117.8 goes fastest. We've got Useless there 118.9, Alan K 119.6. Who else have we got? Set a lap time here. Z3 sets a 118.7. We've got Weed Nation out there. Darren Sinclair wanting to set another lap. Spike here, currently second in the championship, looking to try and set a lap time here as he comes towards the line. 117.7 puts him on top. His teammate Steph heading through turns 8 and 9, and then through this slight kink of 10, as we look to see where other cars are out on track. Weed Nation, as we see the Renault in the background, goes slightly astray from the track. Poe going very astray from the track there. We'll have a look. Darren Sinclair 117.5 goes fastest at the moment. Poe will be looking to try and get a lap time up there. Weed Nation coming around the final corner, heads towards the line. DRS wide open. What can he set? It's a 118.9, which puts him 7th. Steph puts himself up into 4th, 118.1. The Gort then pushing the limits there on that curb. You can do that going through turn 11. It is pretty lenient when you go through that curb, as the Gort here rounding turn 13. It's a long corner that, turn 13. You want to get the throttle down, and through 14 as well. You want to get the throttle down a lot earlier than you'd like. But Gort then heading through 118.4 puts him into P6 for now. So that is round 1 of the lap times done, and we have 13 drivers who have set a lap time today. So we have reserve driver of Sean here, who is in for... Well, he's in for a reserve driver, so we'll find out what team he's with in just a second when he does emerge from the pit lane. As we see someone coming out of the pit lane there. Is that Mays or is it Hazels? No, it's none of them. I thought someone was exiting the pit lane there. We'll see as soon as it goes to outlap who it was. It was Baumgartner. So Baumgartner trying to beat the traffic then and get himself out there. So as we head towards the pit lane then, we see that is, I'm trying to read, that's a Red Bull, and I think that is Sean. I think it is Sean. It is. I must have very good eyesight to see that to see that board there. But yes, Sean does make his way out onto the circuit, and he's driving for the Red Bull today. As we see Poe as well come out, trying to set a lap. Mays is out there as well, on for his lap. Blizzard though, we see the Gort there getting wheeled into the pit lane and into his garage. Paisl's yet to come out, but that is Plaster there, I believe, who is coming back out onto track, the other Red Bull. Yes, it is. I've got good eyesight for those garages today, but only the ones that are close to me. Baumgartner then, it's a quick lap here, as you can see, so Blizzard has retired from the session. Well, okay. That is that's an interesting one, and he's left the session, so big thing happened there. So Baumgartner starts his lap then, as we see the two Force Indias leave the pit lane. That is Lambo and you'd think, being a commentator by now, you'd learn who all the teammates are. Useless, that's who it is. Lambo and Useless out on track. They go out together. Sean, though, heading around the final corner, he'll be hoping to put a good lap time in. Blizzard has joined back in, but he has retired from the session. So that means he will not be able to set a lap time. And if Pazos doesn't set a lap time, then he will not... Well, he'll be starting towards the back of the grid. We ride on board with Baumgartner then, going through turn 8 and then through 9. As we head through turn 10, through turn 11, drop a gear as you go through there. Use that curb on the left hand side if you want to. It does not penalise you as you head down towards turn 12. McLaren driver here looking for a good lap time here. He's currently in the top 10. It's rare to see that no one has gone out there on some soft tyres, but that is because we are missing Raikkonen, who would have definitely tried that. Baumgartner then heading towards the line, then hasn't opened his DRS. And it goes faster nonetheless. Keeps him P10 though. He does set a 1:19.2. Sean then heading around. What can he do? Mays is also following in behind, as we've got Poe out on track. Sean, what can he do then as he rounds the final corner? Yellow flags in sector 1 as they're gone now. Here comes Sean then. What lap time can he set? It's a 1:18.9, and it puts him into P8. Mays now heading around the final corner. Penultimate driver to set a lap time. It's a 1:18.4, puts him into P6. And Pazos then out onto the track then. He's only going to go for the one and only, I assume, because he will have time to do 2 if he's quick enough. But we've got a Ferrari there in the background barreling down. So as you can see then, Pazos still out there wanting to set the one and only lap time. We've got Darren Sinclair who's ready to start a new lap. And yellow flags in sector 2. That might be cars just getting out of the way of each other, as we've got Steph on his outlap now. As Darren Sinclair then, off he goes. Spike now coming onto his lap now. So who are we looking out for? Who's already on a lap? Light E is out there. The Gort also into sector 2. Z3 is starting a lap, as we've had a lap time posted, but I'm not sure where. Alan Kay moves himself up to P14 with a 1:19.2. Plaster will be hoping to climb up the field. Pazos as well, as he heads round at turn 5, as Lambo has retired from the session. And I assume that is, he might have just clipped a curb, invalidated a lap time. But whatever the reason then, Lambo will not be challenging for pole position. Poe is also retired from the session. Spike then, what can he do? Can he challenge Darren Sinclair, who has set a 1:18.2 there, but he will have another chance of another lap. Light E starting a lap, as Steph retiring from the session. The Gort then is 700ths up through the first sector, Just having a look here, see if we can spot any drivers near to the end of their lap. Useless is near to the end of his lap as Weed Nation retires from the session. Useless heading around the final corner onto the main straight. And what lap time can he set? He barrels towards the line. It's a 1:18.1 and it puts him into P6. Geordie then just about misses out on the checkered flag, but he does grab P8 at 1:18.3. We've got Light E out there. We've got yellow flags in all three sectors right now as Sean does not complete his lap. Pazels doesn't either. So Spike into the pit lane as we've got Light E off the track. The Gort then should be the last person to set a lap. He rounds the final corner, then heading towards the start-finish line. It's a 1:18.2. He's in 8th place with that one. So, do we have Light E out there? Yes, we do, but he's slowly making his way back to the pit lane. So then, with all the drivers having finished their laps, we'll have the full results after this edit. So, Darren Sinclair grabs pole position, then Lambo is second, Spike in third, Light E fourth, Poe is in fifth, Useless in sixth, Steph in seventh, the Gort's in eighth, Geordie in 9th, Maze in 10th, Weed Nation 11th, Z3 in 12th, Alan K 13th, we've got Sean in 14th, Baumgartner 15th, Pazel 16th, Plaster in 17th, Blizzard not seeing a lap time, he'll be starting in P18. So then, that's qualifying done, we've got the race after this edit. Well, 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 it is pouring down with rain. Looks like it's going to be intermediate conditions for the race today, as you can see. And just peeking through that Mercedes garage, you can see those green wall tyres. So all those dry setups for the race mean absolutely nothing now. And the drivers are going to have to tiptoe their way around. We'll have our driver review, and don't forget that you still have your chance to vote in those Twitter polls for the Asia Pacific Challenge. Wait, the Asian Pacific Tour Challenge Cup. That's what it's called. I always get those mixed up, but anyway, we're going to have the formation lap and drivers to watch, also with our driver review coming up now. So here we go then for the formation lap as the drivers just about they feather the throttle as they warm up those tyres and get used to the track conditions in just the single lap, as we'll see everybody starting on those intermediate tyres. So Darren Sinclair is third in the championship, and if you didn't watch the last race, well, you've made it a fair bit way through the video now, so I'm going to say that Darren Sinclair crashed out of the race, as did Blizzard last time out. It allowed Spike to close the gap on the two of them, in fact overtaking Darren Sinclair in the championship. So it is all to watch here, as Darren Sinclair will be hoping to just try and get away from Lambo, who's had a significant boost of form recently, Lambo, and he'll be hoping to try and cause an upset today. Spike as well moves second place in the championship, as he'll continue his hunt with Blizzard starting all the way down. But our driver review today is Blizzard here. So Blizzard here, 9 races so far I think he's had, and in that time he's had 4 wins, 6 podiums, and well, every time he's been on the podium he's been in the top 5. So only 2 DNFs this season, 1 at his home race in Britain. He'll be hoping to come away with that, but he is the current championship leader, winning in Australia. Let me be accurate with this, because championship leader. Oh, he's stopped. Sorry, I'm looking at something. Just trying to look at the winners tables. That's it. Australia, Bahrain, Spain, and Canada. He's won there. Hasn't won since Canada, so he'll be hoping today he can recover from P18 on the grid to get himself up the table. But we have a look now with Darren Sinclair, Lambo with him in second place, and Spike in third. The race then coming up after this edit. So here we go. 5 red lights here at Hungary. And round 11 is underway. Now, what are those starts going to be like? It's very treacherous here, heading down towards turn 1. What are the starts like as we head towards turn 1? Are they going to try and go 4 wide? We've got the Force India there trying to go up the inside, and he's cut the track surely. We've got a Renault who spun the wheels there, and we're going to try and have a look and see who is who's come out the better. We've got, that's Light E there, I think, down at the bottom there. And Light E and Steph coming together, and Light E's gone into the wall. Steph might have been caught up in that as well, as he looks to try and get the tyres underway. We've got cars going wide here. We've got a Red Bull just about holding on, but Blizzard, my goodness, what a start he had. We've got a little bit of incidents up ahead, as we've got the Gort there up the inside of Useless, now trying to go up the inside of Weed Nation. Blizzard up into 8th place after starting from P18. We've got a flurry of cars going through here, and we've got a McLaren there missing the chicane. That's Baumgartner as we head through now at the Gort there. I think we're right on board with well, it's been an interesting start right now. Darren Sinclair leads the way. Poe's moved himself up into 2nd place. Spike in 3rd, but he's lost the back end there, so he's going to lose that position to Spike now as they head towards turn 13. Look at that wide angle there. We can see perfectly what's going on here. Spike just about holds on from Lambo and makes that move stick. Blizzard now, by the way, as we have a little bit of a lag spike there, up into P7. What a start from him. He was 18th at the start and managed to negotiate his way through the field up into P7. Fantastic start. Lambo then still trying to close in on Spike here, as he wants that position back. Not a great start. Did start 2nd place. As we have a look at the positions gain, you can see there Blizzard gaining 11 positions from the start there, as Light E's the biggest loser. He was caught up somewhere along there, fallen down to 17th place. Baumgartner is into the pits here, and what's going on here? He's got the green light, and he just didn't go, but he's off now. Alan Kay in 13th place has not climbed the field nor lost any positions, so that's always a good sign when you can just hold on to the position here, especially with the field. Look at those green and red arrows. When you get a position like that, it's good to just hold on. He's got some work to do now. He's got Paisl's up ahead. Spike, meanwhile, is now going to try and have a look at Poe here as we head towards turn 12 here. And is that Sean involved in something? I'm not too sure, but he did drop down the field quite a bit. Weed Nation then in 10th place, locking up the rears there as he headed into turn 13. Very risky there to get involved with that. Steph moving his way back up the field after that first lap, and moves himself up into 14th place. Spike then having a look at Poe up ahead, but thinks better of it. We've got on board with Maze here, but Blizzard, as you can see behind, has got his way past Geordie, so he's charging up the field once again, just like in the last round, just charging his way up the field, now up into 6th place, and well, I wonder how far he can take this. Darren Sinclair going through there in the lead, Poe in 2nd, and Spike is in 3rd. That's your top 3 so far. And as we head into turn 5 here, always treacherous here, and we've got a car off. Is that we had yellow flags there, but I'm not quite sure who it was. Sean has got his way past Weed Nation, and that's Plaster. Plaster's lost his front wing. Oh, did he get it wrong coming into turn 3 there? He's lost all of that front wing here. And will he be might have gone into the menu there, I'm not too sure, but he'll be slowly making his way back to the pit lane. Meanwhile, his teammate Sean is challenging Weed Nation here for 10th place, that last point position, as we're on to lap 3. We've got Steph in the background there, who has had a look at Alan Kay, but as he locks up going into turn 12, never a good thing to do that, as he's now trying to go around the outside of Alan Kay, as he'll just look to try and get that wet racing line, get more grip out on that outside line. You can see here it might have worked. Here he goes up the inside, Steph, and Alan Kay loses that position. He's also left the door open for Z3 here. And Z3 now will be in his slipstream as we look towards P5 here. Blizzard gets his way up into 5th place as we see now the Ferrari. Oh, the Ferrari's made contact with Z3, making contact with Steph there, I think that was. And yes, it was. As now he goes side by side with Alan Kay coming into turn 2. And Z3 here, you can see how much of that front wing he's lost and how it's affecting him. He's falling away now as he just seemed to lock up and run into the back of Steph there. So he's lost that front wing, and you'll see now how badly it's going to affect the car, especially in these wet conditions. Meanwhile then, Blizzard, championship leader, and up into P5 right now, making his way through the field, got his way past Mays. And, well, this is an interesting shout from Plaster here. It's still raining out there, and he's decided to go on some super soft tyres. I think it's a little bit too early, but not for one for trying, that's for sure. But let's see what his lap times and how his grip out there will be as he makes his way down into turn 2. Braking early, and you can see how little grip he's got out there. There's still a bit of water out on track. I think it's way too early for super softs. But then again, what do I know? I'm just here in a commentary box as we'll see Plaster coming through. You know, turn 4 is going to be an indication of how this is going to go. Yeah, it is too early for slick tyres at the moment. Meanwhile, Steph trying to chase down Pacels here for P12. And what can Steph do as he's barreling down on the back of the Sauber man? Just get the traction right coming out of turn 1. It's always very difficult to do. And we'll have a look up towards Lambo here, because Lambo closing in on Spike once again as Plaster decides enough's enough, and he has retired from the Hungarian Grand Prix. Lambo then in 4th place at the moment, being closed down by Blizzard, but he's trying to make some inroads on Spike here. Spike just about keeping that back end in check, as everybody else is very tricky conditions out there. And we'll see what happens, whether the rain gets heavier or whether it starts to dry up, as Blizzard going very wide through there. We like to see that sense of being out of control whilst you're firmly in control. It's always a great spectacle to see. But we'll see Lambo here still trying to get on the back of Spike, as Blizzard here, you can see him just trying to close in. And well, we saw a battle develop between Spike, Lambo, Blizzard and Darren Sinclair last time out, and I wonder if we're going to see that once again. The Gort here on the back of Geordie, and in the slipstream he's looking to try and get a move done, as he wants to get past Geordie and catch up to his teammate once again. Interesting about the Mercedes guys, whenever we see them, they always seem to be on the same bit of track as each other. Meanwhile, behind them though, Steph up the inside of Pazels here, as they're now running side by side coming into turn 2, and Pazels there lets him go, I think there. He knew he wasn't going to have a chance going into turn 2. Steph then gets up into P12. So as you ride back on board with the Gort then, still chasing down the Haas of Geordie, and we'll have a look here coming through the chicane of turns 6 and 7. Always very easy to not get that bit right at all. It's very easy to collect too much curb there and throw your lap time off, as both of them run wide there, following each other. They're following each other so much they're taking exactly the same lines. But the Gort then still trying to chase down Geordie for 7th place. We'll try and keep an eye on that if we can. We'll try and also keep an eye on this battle here, the battle for 2nd place. Poe leads it from Spike, Lambo and Blizzard. They're all in this little train here of 4 cars, battling all for 2nd place, and they're all still in each other's slipstream. Meanwhile, it is Darren Sinclair who leads the way. Poe is in 2nd, Spike in 3rd. That's the top 3 so far. Lambo and Blizzard, though, not far behind at all. Here's the Gort, who is slowly being pulled in by Useless. This is now becoming a little battle for 7th place, as there's Geordie, there's Gort, there's with Useless, and We'll have a look and see. We'll have a look further up the field because here's Lambo on the back of Spike here. Spike may have made a mistake, or either that or Lambo's got a brilliant line coming through turn 3 there, because he's right on the gearbox of Spike. Blizzard's also got a fantastic run, and they are running nose to tail right now. There's Poe going through. Spike, oh, look at that. There's Blizzard there looking to try and put Lambo under some pressure as he wants to take P4. We've got that onboard shot with Lambo. We'll get back to the director shot here. We've got Spike, Lambo, Blizzard all going through in that blink of an eye. And look at them all go through, still kicking up that spray as we head towards turn 12. And is that a move looking for Lambo on Spike? Spike holding on for now. And in these tricky conditions, you'll see here, is he going to try and reel himself back in towards Poe up ahead? It's all about keeping your head down and making the right decision if the track starts to dry up, or if it even starts to pour even heavier. But they're in each other's slipstream right now, and this could be a move here for Lambo if he wants to make it. He looked down the inside, thought about it as Blizzard. Did he run into the back of Lambo there? I think he did, because you can see there on the left-hand side of his front wing, I think he's damaged it. I think he just about missed his braking zone, has run into the back of Lambo there. That's still not going to stop him fighting though. Look at that, he's trying to find a way past Lambo here, and once again he gets very close to the gearbox of Lambo here, does Blizzard, as they head through turn number 4, running slightly wide, and you can start to see how much that front wing, or that missing bit of front wing, is costing him. It isn't costing him as much as you could fear, but it is going to cost him, and that excessive tyre wear is going to show on the front right hand side of his tyres. It's going to be exaggerated wear, but as you can sort of see, the rain has stopped, so it's stopped raining, and well, the track will be drying up. So what's the call then? What tyres do you go onto, and how much is this going to affect the race, as Blizzard here still trying to find a way past Lambo? Always difficult now to predict whether or not, or when the time is to come in for some slick tyres. Darren Sinclair still leading the way. We've got Poe in second, Spike in third. That's the podium so far. And, well, the surefire way to know when the track is dry enough is when DRS is enabled again. Hasn't been yet, but we'll see some drivers come into the pits for sure. But who will be the first to blink? The Gort in 8th place, still behind Geordie right now. And all those with a dry setup will be thanking the lucky stars, as the Gort here still on the inside of Geordie. Geordie running deep there, and this may be the Gort's chance. Can he try and find a way through? As Geordie may have got a better apex coming through there. Now that's Alan Kay into the pits. Is this going to be the first move onto some slick tyres? Yes, it is. Alan Kay going onto some soft tyres. Away he goes. There he goes. So Alan Kay then, first person to blink. He goes onto the soft tyres. Now does Baumgartner follow him in? No, he doesn't. That's an interesting call then. So Alan Kay rejoins onto the circuit onto some soft tyres, the middle tier of dry tyre. So it looks like he will have to stop again, presumably from some super soft tyres towards the end of the race. For now though, we'll keep an eye on Alan Kay, because it looks like here you can see that little bit of spray kicking up. It may be a lap too early, but I think Alan Kay's got the right idea here. Well, the Gort here has managed to find his way past Geordie here, and Eustace also finds a way past as well, so Geordie must have made a mistake there, as we'll see here. Now Darren Sinclair into the pits, yes, so it is time for the drivers. Yep, DRS is enabled, and Poe here is caught out, I think, and it's now time for the dry tyres. So full credit to Alan Kay then, he called it, and he was the first in, so we'll see now how much he can close up towards the rest of the pack then. Darren Sinclair leaves on some soft tyres. We'll see what kind of strategies are developing here. Spike then will exit on some medium tyres. Lambo the same. Blizzard exiting on soft tyres, and he's been caught up in traffic in the pit lane as it's all stacked as we head through. Everyone pitting now. Useless on some medium tyres. The Gort on the same. Geordie on medium tyres. We've got Pazels here who's putting on some soft tyres, is he? And I'm not sure what's going on here. Oh, they were changing the front wing, that's why. So on goes some soft tyres for Pazels. Weed Nation also on some soft tyres. Baumgartner is one of the last to come in then. He's on the intermediate tyres right now. Sean, you can see here how much he's going to struggle. There's Spike coming down the inside, and Geordie is retired from the session. Oh, Geordie's got it wrong. Oh, no. Geordie out of the race. That is coming out of turn number 3. Did he just get onto the curb there and lose the back end? I'm not too sure, but his day is done. Lambo closing in on Spike here. And Mays and Poe a lap too late, and you're going to see how much that's going to affect him. Remember, Poe was in second place. As he heads into the pit lane, we're going to see how much time he's going to lose here. Heads towards the pit lane, and in he goes. Darren Sinclair, then you can see already on the start-finish straight, already through. As Poe heads in then, changes the tyres. And on goes some super soft, oh no, soft tyres for Poe. The game loves to trick you there. Blizzard goes up into P4. You can see then, as Poe tries to rejoin the circuit now. And where will he rejoin? There's Useless. There's Poe up ahead of him. So Poe then rejoins in 5th place. But how much time he's lost to the leading 4 here is, it's a huge amount. Alan Kay then. I said he was right to call it. He puts himself up into P11 and sets the fastest lap of the race. So up into 11th place and now trying to chase down Weed Nation. Useless here. Apparently still running on some intermediates. It's flicking between the two. So, well, from the not from the onboard, but there you go. Mediums. When will they change to inters? There, you could just see him flick over. Well, it's an interesting strategy from Force India here. They're obviously invented a new tyre that allows them to flicker through whatever tyre they want. Interesting strategy there, but for the record, Useless is on medium tyres. So here we go, Gort then on board with him as he tries to chase down Useless. And Useless on some medium tyres. The Gort also on the same. Blizzard setting a 120.8, beating Darren Sinclair's time. We see Steph here on the back of Mays, with Weed Nation just behind. And Mays on soft tyres, Steph on mediums, Weed Nation also on soft tyres. So the medium tyres, you can assume, are going to try and run to the end of the race. And it's a big ask, but if they can do it, then why not? Well, Blizzard's got himself a 3-second time penalty. And remember, they do all add up towards the end of the race. It's crucial that you get as little as them as possible. Well, we're seeing a 3-way battle here for 8th place involving Mays, Steph and Weed Nation. And I wonder here who's going to come out on top. It's all going to be all about strategy, that's for sure. The Gort still ahead of Steph right now. Sorry, that's Mays, sorry. Mays still ahead of Steph right now as Steph gets it slightly wrong. And you can see the gap that Mays starts to form on him, but you can see how much Steph just closes that up. The Gort then on Useless. He's has he gone down the inside or round the outside, as you can see, going through turn 13. And the Gort then keeps himself ahead for now. Useless though, he's going to have DRS coming down the back straight. Poe setting the fastest lap of the race now in 5th place. The Gort now trying to go defensive against Useless here. And Useless, is he going to go try around the outside? He is. And Useless coming around the outside. We'll try and cut back now. Use another bit of DRS as we head down towards turn 2. He's going to try down the inside of turn 2 here. Unorthodox. The Gort runs slightly wide. And the Gort, I think, just about holds on to the position here. Heading towards turn 4. That slight kink here. As, yeah, the Gort, I think, is just about going to hold on here. Meanwhile, up ahead, we've got Blizzard and Lambo fighting now. Blizzard wanting to get past Lambo and try and have a go at Spike up ahead. as he's not too far up the road. As you see there, Lambo runs slightly wide. That could be Blizzard's invitation. He doesn't take it though, and opts to wait for the DRS zone. Heading in towards turn 13 here, you can see Lambo just about keeping head. He is on the medium tyres, so it's going to be interesting to see here if Blizzard and Darren Sinclair need to stop again. It's crucial then for Blizzard to try and get past Lambo. He's got the DRS zone now, and this is going to be his opportunity now. Coming down the main straight, this is for third place as Blizzard goes around the outside, and well, that's Lambo still having it up the inside. We're going to ride on board because that's a terrible camera angle to have. But yes, Blizzard does get ahead of Lambo as he heads towards turn 2. So now, next target then is Spike on those medium tyres. Further down the field then, Z3 has got ahead of Alan Kay. Alan Kay here has... what's happened to Alan Kay? He's lost a bit of front wing there as he heads towards the pit lane. And he'll have to change that front wing then. Well, Steph and Mays on each other's tails. And Mays here just extends that gap from Steph. He's pulling away very slightly. Weed Nation has dropped back a bit, as you can see through the chicane there. It's very difficult to get that right every single lap, and you can see how much it costs. It costs around 2 or 3 tenths getting that bit wrong alone. But we'll see here, Weed Nation still trying to push, but you can see the gap is opening up between himself and Steph up ahead. Here's a little battle going on here. This is between Sean Z3 and Light E, as they're all battling for 12th place here. The two Ferraris want to get themselves past this Red Bull and try and fight their way up towards Pazels. But they've got Sean in between here. And Z3 on Sean here. Sean going defensive. Z3 trying to go around the outside. And he's got to be careful here because Light E wants to take advantage. Unless there's team orders, I think Light E's ready to take advantage here. So Light E might have the opportunity to sort of have a little bit of a double slipstream here as we come down the main straight. As you can see already, Sean going defensive. They all follow each other on the same line here. And which one of them will be brave to get the first move done? As you can see there, Sean running deep, trying to get a better apex coming out of turn 1. And it's a little bit of a wait from that camera angle to see what happens. But Z3 trying to go around the outside once again, get himself a better exit coming out of turn 2 into turn 3 here. And as you can see, they're still running front wing to gearbox all between them right now. This is the battle for 12th place. It's just for pride at the moment, but they all want that 12th place. And just, oh, that's Z3. He's gone off there. And that's going to open up for Light E to push his way through. And it's now his turn to try and have a go at Sean. Blizzard, though, up ahead, right behind Spike now. This is the battle for 2nd place. As we see here, Spike is starting to pull away again. Blizzard must have made a mistake coming through that section there as we head through turn 4. We've got Spike here heading through turn 5, and Blizzard wants that 2nd place. He wants to challenge Darren Sinclair, who's pulling away lap after lap. Lap 16 at the moment in this fast-paced Hungarian Grand Prix. I've said it's been difficult to overtake, and well, I've been proven wrong yet again. But as we look further down the field, we've got Lighty and Sean still battling with each other. They're still for 12th place. And will Lighty try to have a move? Goes round the outside, trying to get a better exit coming out of turn 2 through turn 3. It's essential you get that bit right in order to defend. But coming up towards turn 4, he's got the move. Well, Sean stays ahead for now. Up ahead though, Mays on Useless heading through turn 12. Has a chance here to try and get away past Useless here. And the Gort then is not too far up the road. As we see here, Mays on the back of Useless here. Steph not far behind either. And we'll see here, Mays trying to go around the outside. Useless goes defensive towards the inside line. Mays trying to go around the outside. And has he got the move done then? As we look on board, they're side by side now as they head towards turn 2. Mays up the inside. Has he got the move done? Yes, he has. Steph tries to take advantage of the move as well, trying to go down the inside. Useless pretty much hung out to dry here as they go side by side. Steph and Useless going through turn 3, heading all towards turn 4, but Steph has the move done, and Steph moves up into 8th place. Heart rate must have gone up there for Steph just a bit, but he's up into P8. We'll ride on board with Blizzard once again as he's behind Spike still, wanting to try and get this move done. Coming through turn 13 and then through 14. And you want to get that throttle down earlier, but the way the corner arcs around, it's quite scary too with that inside wall. Anyway, here we go. Blizzard then, this is his best chance to try and take 2nd place away from Spike. Down the inside it goes, and they're side by side, rubbing tyres going through turn 1. But Blizzard has the move, and they're running side by side still as they head towards turn 2. Spike has the inside line. Blizzard still trying to run side by side with him. And Blizzard takes the inside line for turn 3. And oh, Spike just about held onto the car there. And well, he drops down to 3rd place. And Blizzard up into 2nd place. Well, here's Mays on the back of Gort. And will there be team orders involved between these two, I wonder? Gort on medium tyres, Mays on softs. I wonder if the differing strategies will allow the Gort to just let Mays through. Or are they going to say, let them battle? I wonder. In the meantime, though, you can see, though, the Gort and Mays running nose to tail. We're right on board with Useless here, who's 7/10 back on Steph and being closed in by Weed Nation. Interesting call though, as Poe comes in, maybe a bit earlier than maybe he wanted. I wonder if he had front wing damage, and yes he does. On that left hand side you can see he has front wing damage. Now, did they not change the front wing? Is this a disaster for Poe? Does he have to come back in? Whatever the case then, he has front wing damage, and will he come in this time around? No, he won't. He stays out. No, that's my mistake. He does come in. That was an odd camera angle. Anyway, so Poe does come into the pits then, and hopefully this time the team will actually change that front wing. On go a set of soft tyres, I believe, or is that super softs? On goes another front wing. Will you tell me how that works? You saw that pit stop there. You saw the tyres switch colours. You tell me how that works. Anyway, Poe exiting the pits on soft tyres. Mays then on the back of the Gort for 5th place this battle. And I do wonder if those soft tyre runners can actually make it to the end of the race. It'll be an interesting call, but I wonder which of the leaders will blink and say no, cut our losses and come into the pits. Darren Sinclair though currently leads the way. Blizzard there in 2nd place, Spike in 3rd. That's your top 3 so far. Z3 then on the back of Sean. Light E did manage to find a way past, so now Light E has the opportunity to do the same. Mays here still on the back of the Gort, heading through towards turn 2. Mays thinks about going up the inside, but not quite. As we head towards turn 3, as we've got Steph behind them, waiting to try and make a move. Mays then heading through, and I still wonder then, I think these guys are racing then. No team orders in effect. These guys are racing for position. Further back then, we've got Weed Nation and Useless here, and Weed Nation made a mistake there and has fallen back. Z3 on Sean here, putting Sean under pressure. as we head through turn 4. And Sean going slightly deeper there to get a better exit. And normally that does work. That's more of a Vettel line through that corner, where you go deep, but it helps your exit. Back on board with Mays then, in the slipstream of the Gort. And this may be Mays' best chance to try and make a move. But as you can see though, Mays sticking behind, opting not to make a move up the inside for now. Maybe he's just biding his time here to try and make that move, but he's got to be careful because Steph is right behind him. We head through towards turn 4, and Darren Sinclair still leads the race from Blizzard and Spike. We have a look at Steph on board, still along with Mays and the Gort, as we head towards the chicane of turn 6 and 7. The Gort then doing his best to fend off his teammate right now, as we head through this section of turns 8, 9 and then through 10. As the Gort picks up a little bit of curb there, maybe a bit more than he'd prefer, but Mays here is struggling now, as we've got yellow flags in sector 1. They're gone now though, that might be back markers. But that was Z3, no it was Z3 in the wall. He's lost that front wing on the right hand side there. Now, did he try and go side by side with Sean? Sean doesn't look like he's got any damage, but... Whoa, Z3 then has a long way to go back to the pits with a front wing like that. Steph though putting Mays under a bit of pressure, sees a gap on the inside, as now it's Sean. Sean is off. Baumgartner's out now, as he retires from the session. So Sean has gone off as well now. He's hit the wall. Yellow flags in sector 2. That is Baumgartner's parked car. So meanwhile, Sean has decided to retire from the session as well, as that looks like he's... well, I'm not sure there. That is an odd place to go, even if you miss your braking point. But Sean out of the race then. As we see here, the Gort, Mays and Steph now all battling over 5th place. We'll see them now as they head through. Steph, look at this. He's got some corner on Mays now as yellow flags come in. So, yeah, that means that Steph couldn't make the move, even though he got a better exit. The yellow flags came out for Sean's stricken car. Now he's in green flag zone, so he can try and make a move once again. But he had a good run through there. Mays running a little bit wider here, as Steph getting onto the curb. A little bit of oversteer, but shouldn't hurt him too much with the DRS. And these three are going to close in on each other very, very soon, as we head on to lap 23, 13 laps to go. So this is our closest battle on the track right now. This is the battle for 5th place, as we see Mays, Gort fighting over 5th and 6th place, with Steph behind. Steph here could actually try and move up to 6th place. I wonder if Mays' tyres are starting to go off, as we've got yellow flags in sector 2 here, as well, that is couldn't find who that was. Yellow flags in sector 2, could it be anybody? Yes it is, it's Z3 again. Z3 off, and weaving left and right to get the dirt off those tyres. Once again he's gone off, and it's just not been his day today at all. Meanwhile then, we rejoin on board with the Gort, Mays and Steph heading through turn 13. And you see there, Useless, this is a good opportunity for him to just try and close the gap on these three. And we see here, Mays runs slightly deeper going into turn 14, and it gives him a good amount of apex coming out. He needs to defend from Steph here, as we'll see as I try and get these controls right. And was that a little bit of contact there from Steph on Mays? I wonder, was that front wing to rear tyre? I don't think it's done too much damage to either car, but either way, Steph maybe getting a little bit impatient, maybe a little bit over eager to try and get past. But at the moment though, it stays exactly how it is. So, with a little bit of a gap in the action, let's have a look. Darren Sinclair leads the way. Blizzard is in second. Spike in third place. Lambo there in your picture. He's currently in fourth. The Gort, Mays, Steph, 5th, 6th and 7th right now. Eustace is in 8th there. We'll go flying through your picture there. Weed Nation in 9th. Light E there is in 10th place. Poe is in 11th. Pace was going through in 12th. Alan K 13th. And Z3 emerging from the pits in 14th. Well, newsflash though, Blizzard is into the pits, and I knew those soft tyres wouldn't last to the end. He rejoins now on super soft tyres. He's the first driver to do so, and away from the pit lane he goes with 11 laps to go then. Rejoins on some super soft tyres. Now where will he rejoin, I wonder? Where is the Gort? The Gort's coming down the pit straight, and yes, Blizzard rejoins ahead. So Mays then coming into the pits along with Steph. Now, Steph here, does he have front wing damage? Or is he just going to try and... No, that's a strategic decision. But he didn't quite jump Mays there. He rejoins behind him, but it was very close. And both of them now are on super soft tyres. So, well, I think, look at that. Steph's just ghosted through Mays there. Incredible. But he's let him back through. And yellow flag's in sector 2. But Mays then stays ahead of Steph for now. And that's a call from the Gort then. What's he going to do? Will he stay out there on medium tyres, or will he come into the pits? Darren Sinclair, though, the race leader, is coming into the pits then. Z3 retires from the session, as he has, well and truly parked it, that's for sure. In a high-speed park there. That's not a great place to retire from the session, but nonetheless... he is out of the session. Darren Sinclair then on the super soft tyres will rejoin. Where will he rejoin? Where is Blizzard? Coming down the pit straight. There he is. So Darren Sinclair rejoins in third place. Now he's got a job now to catch and overtake Lambo and Spike to take back a race win. Spike though leading the way with Light E there in the a lapped Ferrari. Weed Nation then comes in. Presumably to put on a set of super soft tyres, which will take him to the end of the race. Now, we saw Steph change strategy from mediums to super softs. I wonder now, Mays will jump him, as will Steph here. So who will have the pace then out of these two? And how long will it take for them to catch up to the Gort? Do they have enough laps to do it? Same question then to Darren Sinclair. Does he have enough laps to not only catch these two, but overtake them as well? So that's going to be an intriguing battle then. At this point then, for Spike and Lambo, they've got to take that risk of staying out, surely. They can't come in now. Darren Sinclair on fast tyres, yes, but there is a chance there at a place that's called Monaco Without the Barriers. It seems like an interesting place then to try and make the overtake. That is Lambo directly ahead of Darren Sinclair. So, well, he's trying to try and hold on here. Blizzard as well is on a charge as well. 1:18.8 he sets as the new fastest lap of the race. Meanwhile then, Steph is going to try and move down the inside of Mays here, going into turn 12. Doesn't quite work, and he gets away with it. Darren Sinclair, look how much he's closed in on Lambo here. Coming up towards turn 4, catching the car ahead is the easy part, some would say. Getting past them is another question. So what can Darren Sinclair do? Can he find his way past? There goes Spike through your picture. And there's Lambo and Darren Sinclair as well, as we see them go through. We're seeing Steph and Mays here having a battle royale as they head through turn 1, now coming towards turn 2. And Steph has a look up the inside. Not quite though, as we head out of turn 2 and into turn 3. As Darren Sinclair, has he found a way past? Yes, he has. Past Lambo he goes up into second place. Now Lambo will have to try and fend off from Blizzard, who's behind him. Darren Sinclair though up into second place, now trying to close in on Spike. We have a look at this battle over 7th place once again, and between them though is useless. Between them and the Gort here, it is a big ask for them if they can do it. by all means. Steph now trying to go around the inside of Mays here into turn 12. He'll run slightly wide. Is that Mays' chance to try and have a look back up into turn 13? No, it isn't. Steph finds a way past Mays up into 7th place, lunges it down the inside, but it's worked, and he's now up into 7th place. Mays, though, is not going to give up on that position very easily. He's in the slipstream here, and we've got Pazels there. Off, is it? Yes, it is Pazels. He is off the circuit there as we ride back on board with Mays, as he's trying to close the gap on Steph, but not quite, and he's lost that position. We've got Alan Kay now off. So then Darren Sinclair's closing in on Spike and closing fast as well. Look at this, 4/10 the gap here as Spike on some medium tyres, and I wonder here, this could be a challenge for the top step on that podium. Then Darren Sinclair in the slipstream of Spike here as he heads through. Now, does Darren Sinclair try and move up the inside? No, he doesn't. He waits on. He knows time's on his side. He knows he's got plenty of time to do it. And Spike coming out of turn 1 doesn't get good traction here. Now Darren Sinclair's going to try and go around the outside, going in towards turn 2. Slight lock up from Spike there. Might force Darren Sinclair slightly wide. But there he goes then with the better tyres, better traction. He's got ahead of Spike. Darren Sinclair takes the lead of the race once again. A big call for the championship leader then, Blizzard. He's got to do his best here to try and find a way past Lambo. Of course, he does have penalties. He does have those 3-second time penalties adding on to the end of the race. We don't know how many, but they all do add up. And it could be the difference here between Blizzard getting a podium and not, which could be crucial coming into the championship battle. Lambo running wide, though. And you can definitely tell Blizzard has smelt blood. He runs slightly wide onto the grass, slightly wide. Oh, he's lost it. Oh, he's caught the car. Blizzard catching the car there. He does not want another DNF to his name this season, and wants to keep his lead at the top. Needs to get some points, though, if he wants to do that. So he's held onto the car heroically there after a trip onto the grass there. So he's got a chance here to try and grab 3rd place on the back of Lambo here. DRS, is it open? No, it's not. So Blizzard then still closing, and you can see how much he's closed. He's going to try and move down the inside of Lambo here, makes contact, and will he let Lambo through? No, he won't. He's gone through. Blizzard then takes 3rd place from Lambo, and will now try and find his way towards Spike. Well, it's 2.7 the gap between him and Spike here. So he could do it with 6 laps to go. He could try and grab 2nd place here. Mays then has been dropping slightly back from Steph here. And well, he's in 8th place right now. But he'll still try and put up some pressure here to get onto Steph here. Light E, as we see here, in 11th place. He is currently behind Poe, 1.8 seconds behind to be exact. And could we see here an opportunity for Light E to try and close in on Poe? At the moment the gap's currently increasing, but it's sort of stabilised around 1.8 seconds. So could this be a chance for Light E to try and put the hammer down and try and chase down Poe for that last points position? As we ride on board with Blizzard, he is on the back of Spike. We have 5 laps to go here at the Hungarian Grand Prix, and it ain't over till it's over. Britain showed us that. If any race was going to show you that, Britain showed us that. And well, Darren Sinclair leads the way at the moment. Spike in 2nd, Blizzard in 3rd, Lambo 4th, the Gore is in 5th. That's Useless in 6th. Here's Steph, he's in 7th, Mays in 8th. Weed Nation is in 9th place. There goes Poe through the chicane, he's in 10th. Light E does the same, he's in 11th place. That is Pazels in 12th place. And Alan Kay running through, he's in 13th place. Well, Blizzard here, oh, onto the grass he goes. And runs wide, very wide. And maybe that will invite Lambo. Lambo's a bit too far back to take advantage of that. But Blizzard maybe slightly getting worked up there as he's trying to push and making a few mistakes out there that he can't afford to make. So, well, we'll see here what happens as he makes his way through. But Darren Sinclair will cross the line any second now. 4 laps to go. There it is. As time is running out for Blizzard as he wants to try and get this move done on Spike. The clock is ticking. But can Blizzard make the move stick? As Light E here has retired from the race. Has he locked up going into turn 1 there? Well, from the angle the car's at, that's a very odd crash. For locking up there, that is a huge one. But Light E there out of the race, and Ferrari walk away from this race with 0 points. So then Spike and Blizzard still going to try and battle it out as once again Blizzard comes close to the grass as he's trying to use all the track here to get himself up the field. Through the chicane he goes then, chasing Spike down. And he's just got to be careful of the grass because it's cost him time before and it will cost him time again if he's not careful. Blizzard then right on the tail of Spike. Just take into account of that dirty air, Blizzard. You don't want it to catch you out again. Coming towards turn 12, you can see Spike go a little defensive there. Blizzard bides his time though. And will he try and move into turn 13? He thought about it. Spike runs too deep though. Blizzard down the inside he goes. Has he got the move? As they run side by side heading into turn 14. Blizzard has the outside line. Oh, a little bit of a slide there from Blizzard. He keeps the car under control. Will he have DRS though? I wonder. No, neither of them get DRS because they were running side by side. Flawless mechanic here as Blizzard now going down the inside. Coming into turn 1. Has he got the move done? Down the inside. Spike trying to hold on for all he can. And he's still holding on, to be fair to him. Spike here going into the inside, heading into turn 2, and Blizzard has to concede defeat. But no, Spike slides and then make contact slightly there. But Blizzard moves up into second place there. And Spike weaving left and right there. Maybe he's trying to get some grass off his tyres, maybe some marbles as well off the tyres. But Spike now drops to third place. Well, 3 laps to go. And Mays chasing Steph for 7th place. Mays hasn't let that gap fall below a second yet. So he's still in with a shout here of grabbing 7th place back from Steph. And Steph running wide there, up ahead. And that is going to compromise his exit. But you'll see here, between these two, it's going to be close. Lambo running in 4th place. Has he got a chance here? An outside chance to have a go at Spike here. 1.3 the gap and 2 laps to go. Speaking of Mays and Steph, Mays has made a way through. Past Steph he goes, and Mays goes back up into 7th place. Watch this battle, it's not over yet. Heading towards turn 12. And yes, this battle is far from over. We'll have a watch of this if we can and when we can. As there is 2 laps to go between these two at least. As Steph trying to take a tighter line going through turn 14. As he will get DRS, and this time Mays has to do the defending going into turn 1. As will Steph have a look up the inside? No, he won't. Tries a little bit of racecraft, hoping for Mays to lock up so he can take advantage. That doesn't happen. And Steph still on the back of Mays here as we head towards turn 2. Steph locks up slightly. And, oh, is that Blizzard? Blizzard? Yes, it's Blizzard. What's happened there? Lambo's into the... Well, I'm not sure what happened. Blizzard went down the order. Lambo here. Oh, that... I don't know what's happened there. It was Blizzard's retired from the session. Well, controversy late on as Darren Sinclair then starts the final lap of the race. So the championship leader Blizzard out, Lambo out as well. Oh, that's an odd place. I saw Blizzard fall down the order very slightly there as Spike went past, and now Lambo's out as well. So, oh, that is interesting. But if everyone can finish the race now, they'll all get points here. So Darren Sinclair still leading the way. And if I'll have a look at the championship standings for now, as at this late stage, we've got to know something. As Darren Sinclair in this position, well, he has a good chance. Spike and Darren Sinclair have a good chance of taking advantage of that situation. as all the debris is still there. Darren Sinclair still pushing on, as of the McLaren there. I believe that's Poe running wide there. And well, Blizzard and Lambo still might be able to score points. It depends where Pazels and Alan Kay are out on track. But Darren Sinclair kept his head down through the halfway stage then. Darren Sinclair rounds the final corner. 14 seconds between him and Spike right now, but Darren Sinclair takes the checkered flag and wins here in Hungary. Spike then, round the last corner he goes. He did exactly the same, just kept his cool, stayed on those medium tyres. It may have cost him a win, but it's a very respectable second for Spike there to keep up his championship charge. And the Gort then, as he rounds the final few corners. As Mays and Steph went on to the super soft tyres, Gort stayed on mediums. And look where it's put him. Gort then rounds the final corner, and he's going to take third place here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Eustace comes towards the line. He'll finish in 4th out on track. Mays in 5th. Steph in 6th as he... well, he rather wildly finishes that off there. Weed Nation comes across the line in 7th place, and Alan Kay is going to pick up the last points then in 10th place. Well, it has been dramatic with Blizzard and Lambo possibly coming together. More to come on that maybe in the next race, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on Darren Sinclair, your race winner here in Hungary. Well then, Darren Sinclair taking the win today. Spike takes 2nd place, and the Gort takes a surprise 3rd for Mercedes. So your official, unofficial results then. Darren Sinclair takes the race win. Spike finishes in 2nd. The Gort in 3rd. Useless in 4th. Mays in 5th. Steph finishes in 6th. Weed Nation 7th. Poe is in 8th. Pazels in 9th. Alan Kay picking up the last points in 10th. Blizzard in 11th. Lambo in 12th. And then we've got a whole host of drivers here that left the session before this leaderboard, replacing them with the actual drivers. There's Sean though there in 15th, who did not finish the race. Well, drama towards the end of that, and I don't think it's the last we've heard of it. But in the meantime, though, Darren Sinclair takes the win, Spike in 2nd, and it moves them up the table just ever slightly towards another challenge towards the top then, with Blizzard not scoring any points then, which most likely will drop him down the table. Well then, after all that drama then, it's time to think about the next race in Belgium as we go towards the forest of the Ardennes for one of the most interesting and well-loved tracks on the calendar at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. I do hope you can join us for then. Please don't forget though about the Asia Pacific Tour Challenge Cup. Hopefully after this race, the Twitter polls will be ready and live, so you can go over there and vote for the tracks you want to see for that off-season cup. But Belgium is the next round, and until then, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.